All right, Cloud9 fans, let's do this one final time, huh? You and me, together, one best of 5. Winner takes quite literally everything. I hope you're ready, because I sure as hell am.
These beautiful things that I've
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rendezvous, your source for everything 100 Thieves League of Legends, which could be wrapping up here as early as Friday, or could continue on for a few more weeks. We will find out after the qualification series for cross-conference playoffs between Cloud9 and 100 Thieves today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, today. Now, I've got some explaining to do around here because some people are new here and don't know the history, and some people were asking in the comments of the pit the other day, you know, what's with your history with C9? What's with the beef? So let's give this one final tribute, one final farewell to explain everything between me, 100 Thieves, and C9, and why this is going to be one of the most exciting best of fives that I think I've ever watched. Most of you are probably aware, but I was an Optic Gaming fan long before I was a 100 Thieves fan, and still am, to be very clear. Been Greenwall since 2013, started watching Call of Duty as my first esport, and slowly transitioned to League of Legends in 2017. Started watching TSM, and Optic got in the league in 2018, so I naturally followed Optic. But I eventually joined the 100 Thieves fandom after Optic left in 2019, took 2020, or at least like the first half of it, to not really pick a team in particular, and then latched on to 100 Thieves pretty hard by the time summer came around. It quite literally took me like 8 months to fully get attached to the team. So yeah, I take my time with this stuff. But my rivalry with C9 isn't necessarily 100 Thieves versus C9, because let's be honest, like between the two, other than 100 Thieves cucking C9 out of Worlds once, there's really not that big of a rivalry between the two. No, this one's personal between me and C9. Why? Because the darkest day in Optic Gaming, like Call of Duty history, was in Black Ops 3, Call of Duty Champs, where Cloud9, who had Optic's bitter rival in terms of like individual player in Aches on the team, eliminated them from the tournament. And this was a tournament where Optic could have went on a lower bracket run, where they were favored to win this tournament going into it, and I fucking hated them. Like, regardless of whether you think that's fair, it's like, oh, well, they just beat you. They were the better team on the day. Yeah, not denying that. I can still hate you for it. Like, bluntly put, I cannot stand C9 for it. I've held that grudge ever since. It has transcended every esport. I just can't look at C9 with a straight face and be like, yeah, you know, good for you. Like, I'm always secretly cheering for their demise in the background because they destroyed my hopes and dreams when I was at my lowest point back then. Now, obviously, Optic got the last laugh in Call of Duty, but whenever it came to League of Legends, the rivalry was very one-sided, at least in terms of the teams that I watched versus Cloud9. Optic, I mean, we got, I think, one best of one win over C9 back in like 2019 early on. Beyond that, nothing of importance. When you swap over to the 100 Thieves history side, let's be honest, 100 Thieves has a terrible history in finals where we have met C9 and they 3-0'd us. Like C9 for the longest time, from like 2020 to 2021, even though like we would win some one-off series, we could not win a meaningful best of series against them for a long period of time. Like C9 was just better. And even after we won our title, like well after that, and C9 had their resurgence with the Blabber roster, with the rotating mid lanes of M&S, and I forget who was even before that. Was it Niski? No, it was like Fudge mid, and that was the Diplex. I don't know. C9's been through so many goddamn mid laners. C9's been the better orc with better results. I'm not going to lie about that or hide it in any way, shape, or form, but that's what makes beating C9 as a 100 Thieves fan so much freaking fun. Because C9 is expected. Like, there have not been many times in LCS history where 100 Thieves has actually been favored over Cloud9 in terms of community expectations, including coming into this series today, where, yes, 100 Thieves is technically the hotter team, but C9 should still be favored by most people. Just because C9's had some weak best of fives over the last 2 weeks and does fail at some of the clutch moments, they still have the better team all around, quote unquote. Obviously, I would disagree, but I'm trying to say that from the perception of the general community. Everybody's been of the opinion that, oh, you know, if C9's clicking, they should be able to win this. But I would like to take you back, okay, to my top 5 moments where C9 dropped the ball so goddamn hard against 100 Thieves. If you've been following me on Twitter this week, you've been seeing me tease this list, so you might be a little bit more familiar with it, but number 1 should be new. kinda, to a certain extent. But I want to revisit this list. Oh man, it is fun. It is fun revisiting this and just watching C9 fans just get so pissed off at me. Like, oh, wait until we beat you. We're gonna talk shit. I have not had a single C9 fan chirp back at me, barring Marn, this entire week. So whenever all of you come at my throat afterwards when I said it done, it's like, oh yeah, you know what? Fine. You could have talked shit beforehand. You could have clapped back and y'all didn't say shit, which is funny. Because if 100 Thieves wins, I ain't going to talk shit on C9 after that. It's like, hey, respect. We did exactly what I said we were going to do. And I just get to watch you guys in pain and agony the entire time. People will clap back at me, obviously, because I've been the one talking shit. But I prefer whenever people talk shit before the game rather than after. But given the C9 fandom, I know how you guys are. You're quiet as shit until you get one leg up to stand on, and then you think you're Goliath over David. Trust me, I've seen it for years now. I know how you act. Anyways, back to this list. Starting at number 5. I don't know if you remember back in 2020. This is actually like the moment that secured my fandom in 100 Thieves. Like I said, like from January up until August, I was kind of watching everybody to see who I liked, see who I didn't before I picked somebody in particular. But like I was at the beach and decided, you know what? I think I'm actually going to commit to 100 Thieves. I like some of the things that they're building. Papa Smithy was GM at the time. Ryoma was a little bit of a sus choice in mid lane, but you know what? I still like the direction that it was going. Contracts was a fun player to watch. So 100 Thieves faced off against an undefeated C9. Like C9 had not lost much I mean, they were undefeated in summer, but I can't remember how many games they lost in spring. It was like basically nothing the entire time. And we started the snowball that would eventually lead to their downfall, snapping their undefeated streak in summer, and they would go on to miss Worlds for the first time ever in organization history. And oh, was it nice.
On the comeback here, but it is Contracts that slams down that Nexus as 100 Thieves will topple Cloud9.
Number 4 is actually this year. Like, we're 2-0 against Cloud9. That's insane, no? Like, again, they've been favored every single time that we have played them. Yet somehow, some way, we still win. Which should scare the ever-living daylights out of every C9 fan that even though you're favorites in this moment, we can still get the job done.
100 Thieves will take it. GG, 100 Thieves.
At number 3, the LS era of Cloud9 was a very dark period for many. They still don't like talking about it at points. We still don't know all the full answers, and I'm not trying to poke that bear all that much. But one of the fun things about that particular year was that Summit was so freaking good. He really was. And Fudge was just meh in mid lane. But to then see Someday and 100 Thieves just eliminate C9 in the fashion that they did, oh, it was so much fun. Like, bye-bye. See ya. Hope the Fudge mid experience was good for you, because it sure as hell was fun to watch you lose on it to us.
Nexus to fall, 3-0, 100 Thieves, the defending champions look to reclaim the title.
At number 2, this was the start of my content creation journey back on TikTok in 2021. I remember like one of the first memes that I ever made on TikTok was the Eagles fan saying like, how the fuck can't we beat this team? And I posted that with the meme of C9 because we lost to them in lock-in. We lost to them in like spring playoffs. Like, we could not beat C9 in a meaningful best of 5 to save our lives. It was pathetic. Like, there was just nothing that could work. But a few tweaks in the roster, aka just bringing in Abadage over to Monte back in 2021 in summer, yeah, that was enough. And we finally picked up a win against C9 in a meaningful series and went on to win our one and currently only LCS title.
See you tomorrow!
Number 1, and this is like the darkest day for so many C9 fans, and it just brings so much happiness to my face every time I think back to it. Last year's series between 100 Thieves and C9, in a similar situation to now, except you got direct qualification to Worlds rather than like the cross-conference playoffs this year. 100 Thieves beat the ever-living shit out of C9 in a series that nobody saw us winning, but yet here we are. We go to Worlds, C9 goes home, the second time in organization history where they do not get to go to Worlds. And every C9 fan was mauling to shit because I was baiting the fuck out of them for a week straight. And people were like, dude, you're so obnoxious. You're so annoying. They're not going to win this. What are you doing? Shut your mouth. Like, come on. Like, oh, I can't wait until these tweets blow up in your face. Did they blow up in my face? Oh, no, wait, they didn't at all. And again, I was respectful after the series was done, but I talked all my shit the week prior, which is exactly what I'm doing right now too. You got to have confidence in your team. And there's one thing that I know about C9 fans right now is that they have zero confidence in their team. Like, my preview for this series is quite simple, actually. If 100 Thieves can get momentum going and can just get C9 off their game just a little bit, C9's a basket case mentally. Like, for whatever reason, when they get up on that stage, like when the pressure comes on the most, regardless of whether it's against Disguised, against FlyQuest in the finals, like when the clutch moment comes, when you need to perform the most and all the pressure is on in the world, they choke. They do. And C9 fans lack that confidence in their team as well. So this weekend, all things considered, this is the most important matchup that they will play, because you can lose the next two, like you can lose the Shopify or you can lose the FlyQuest in finals and still have another chance of making it to Worlds. This is going to be the most important series that they would play in the next like 3 weeks until that qualification series in Texas, or before going to Texas, to make sure that they go to Worlds. It's these two matches. And if there's any team that I have faith to choke when it matters most, it's C9. You can sit here and make the argument of, oh, but Thanatos is way better than Dokla. We've seen Dokla nullify some people over the last few weeks and continuously improve from when he joined this team. And yeah, I could see him doing the same thing to Thanatos, even though most people wouldn't expect it. Quid and River, if they're clicking, I don't have to say shit. They are better than Blabber and Loki. Period. Like Quid, River, when they are on, best mid-jungle duo in the league, maybe even in the West. Like, I don't think that's a contestable point at this point. Even though we haven't seen it all that often and we don't know if it'll come out for a full 5 games, we know it can happen. Bot lane, I mean, look, Sven's not going to win you games. He's not. He's going to be Mr. Solid, and he's going to rely on mid and top to win. FBI, kind of similar story. He can like win you games at points, but I think like this year in particular, it's kind of been more backseat. They play a very similar role. And then everybody wants to write off Ayla. Always has. Vulcan, I will give you, is probably the better support. But Ayla, when he pops off, is something fun to watch. I think that bot lane is going to be an interesting one, but it's going to be top and bot that determines everything for me. If they can go even in both of those and Quid and River do their thing, I have no worries about this. I'm going to predict 100 Thieves 3-2 over C9 just because I want it to go to 5 games, but if you told me to bet my money on it, I'd say 3-1 100 Thieves. Same score line as last year. C9 goes home, misses Worlds, 100 Thieves continues on, and it's not over. But, hey, look, history is still on C9's side. They beat us way more than we beat them. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if we lost this weekend and we're going home and 100 Thieves League of Legends is over. But, even though that wouldn't surprise me, it ain't going to happen. C9 fans, I hope you're ready for later today. See you at 4.